This is the IELTS listening test. This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have the chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Part 1. Part 1. You will hear a phone call between a man and a receptionist about booking a photography workshop. First, you have some time to read questions 1 to 6. Now listen and answer questions 1 to 6.
Good morning, Vista Academy. This is Anna. How can I help you today?
Hi, I'm interested in one of your weekend photography workshops and wanted to get some more details before I make a booking.
Of course. Could I take your name first?
Sure, it's Naveen Ghosh, that's Naveen, and the last name is Ghosh.
Thank you, Mr. Gosh. Have you attended any of our sessions before?
No, this would be my first. I've recently bought a digital camera and I want to learn how to use it properly. Right now, I just shoot in auto mode and don't really understand how to use the manual settings.
You're not alone. Our beginner's weekend workshop would be perfect for you. It's designed for people who are new to photography and want to move beyond auto settings. It covers the basics of shutter speed, ISO, aperture, lighting, and composition.
That sounds exactly like what I need. When is it held?
We run it every other weekend. The next available session is on the 3rd and 4th of August, Saturday and Sunday. It runs from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. both days, with a 1-hour lunch break.
Great. How many people are there in each group?
We keep the group small, usually no more than 12 participants, so everyone gets individual attention.
Perfect. And where is the workshop held?
It's at our main training facility in Parkwood, on the 2nd floor of the Evergreen building. The address is 72 Langley Street. There's also paid parking available behind the building if you're driving.
Thanks. Do I need to bring anything?
Definitely bring your digital camera, and if you have one, a tripod. We also recommend a notebook if you'd like to take notes, though we do provide printed material.
I do have a tripod, so I'll bring it. What's the cost of the course?
It's £160 for the full weekend. That includes tuition, handouts, and access to our editing software during the class.
Does it include meals?
No, but there are several cafes nearby. Alternatively, you're welcome to bring a packed lunch and eat in our break room.
That works. Is there any kind of discount available?
We offer a 10% discount for students and seniors, but that requires valid ID. If that applies to you, the fee would be £144.
I'm neither, so I'll pay the full amount.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
Can I register now?
Sure, I'll need your email address and I'll send you the registration form and payment link.
It's ngosh84@gmail.com.
Got it. You'll receive a confirmation email as soon as payment is received.
Perfect. What should I expect over the 2 days?
On Saturday morning, we start with an introduction to camera basics, understanding the exposure triangle, how shutter speed, ISO, and aperture interact, and when to use manual versus priority modes. There's a lot of hands-on practice with indoor shots.
Sounds good. What about Sunday?
Sunday is more creative. We go outdoors to nearby Elm Tree Park, where participants practice with natural lighting and fast-moving subjects, like cyclists and birds. Later, we return to the studio for a basic editing session using Lightroom.
I've heard of Lightroom but haven't used it.
Don't worry, we'll guide you through the basics: cropping, color correction, and light adjustment. We have laptops available, or you can bring your own.
Great. Will I get any feedback on my work?
Yes, after each session, the instructor does a photo review session, offering suggestions and encouragement. It's not competitive, just constructive.
That's reassuring.
At the end of the workshop, you'll receive a certificate of participation, and we'll also add you to our monthly photography newsletter, which includes upcoming classes and tips.
Lovely. Is the instructor a professional photographer?
Yes. The workshop is led by Lena Marshall, a published wildlife photographer who has worked in several national parks and also does portraiture. She's known for making technical concepts easy to understand.
She sounds great.
She is. One more thing. Participants also get access to a private online group where they can upload their work, ask questions, and get feedback even after the course ends.
Wow, that's really helpful.
We try to keep the learning going. So shall I go ahead and email the details now?
Yes, please do. Thanks a lot for all the information.
You're very welcome. We look forward to seeing you at the workshop, Mr. Gosh.
That is the end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Part 2. You will hear a manager briefing a group of volunteers about Oxford Sports Club. First, you have some time to read questions 11 to 15. Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Oxford Sports Club. My name is Jake Holland, and I'm the Community Liaison Officer here. It's great to see so many new faces. Some of you have joined as members, and others are here as volunteers or staff trainees. Either way, I'll walk you through everything you need to know. Let's begin with a quick history. Oxford Sports Club was established in 1982, initially as a small tennis and cricket facility. Over the years, we've expanded significantly and now offer over 12 different sports, including football, squash, swimming, and even a martial arts program for kids and teens. The main club complex is divided into several zones. The largest building is the Fitness Pavilion, which houses a fully equipped gym, a yoga studio, and 2 indoor courts. Adjacent to it is the Aquatic Center, featuring a heated lap pool and a smaller pool used for children's swimming lessons and aqua aerobics classes. We also have an outdoor athletics track, basketball courts, and a large green field used for rugby and football matches. Don't forget the clubhouse, located near the entrance, where members can relax, enjoy healthy meals at the cafe, or attend one of our nutrition workshops or seminars. All members receive 2 free workshop credits per quarter, which they can use for things like injury prevention, diet advice, or wellness training. Now, for those of you interested in volunteering, we have roles in coaching support, event coordination, admin, and maintenance. Volunteers play a key part in the day-to-day running of tournaments, school visits, and sports clinics. In fact, last year we hosted a youth sports camp that ran for 6 weeks and welcomed over 300 participants. It couldn't have happened without our amazing volunteer team. Our weekly timetable runs from AM to PM, and we post all updates on our member app, which also includes a booking system for facilities. We recommend that everyone books ahead, especially for peak time classes like spinning or the Saturday morning boot camp, which are usually full within hours of being posted. One final note on dress code: while we don't enforce uniforms, we do ask all members and volunteers to wear appropriate sportswear and closed training shoes while using the facilities. Anyone working in an official capacity will also receive a blue Oxford lanyard for identification. Right, let's take a short break now. When we return, I'll go over the results of our latest member survey and the exciting improvements we're introducing this season.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 16 to 20. Now, listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
Thanks for coming back. I'm now going to share some of the feedback we received in our recent member satisfaction survey, along with changes we're planning as a result. We had over 700 responses, which gave us valuable insights into what our members love and what they think could be better. First up, the changing facilities. While many members said they appreciated the clean and modern look of the showers and lockers, some noted a lack of privacy screens and secure storage. We've taken that on board and have already ordered new lockers with coded locks, and we're also installing more divider panels in the shower area by next month. Another hot topic was the club's website. Some people found the layout confusing and said the online timetable wasn't always updated in real time. We've now hired a new web design team to overhaul the site, and we'll be rolling out an updated version at the end of this month. The new platform will also allow push notifications so you can receive class changes instantly. On the positive side, people gave glowing feedback about our personal trainers, especially Emma and Raj. Many said they liked how approachable and knowledgeable they were, and several suggested offering more one-on-one sessions for beginners. We've now added 3 new slots per week specifically for introductory fitness plans. The CAF also received feedback. While members love the smoothies and post-workout meals, some pointed out that long wait times were common, especially in the evenings. To improve this, we've extended staff shifts during peak hours and introduced a pre-ordering system via the app. Lastly, a number of people expressed interest in expanding the club's family-friendly services. We already offer weekend sports classes for children aged 6-12, but now we're trialing a new parent-child fitness class on Sundays. If it goes well, we'll consider adding more. That's the end of today's briefing. You'll now be directed to your department leads or assigned trainers, depending on your role. Thank you again for joining Oxford Sports Club. We hope this will be a rewarding and energizing experience for all of you.
That is the end of part 2. You have half a minute to check your answers. Part 3. 2 students preparing a group presentation for their history and culture module on the topic of cultural heritage and tourism. Listen to their conversation and answer the questions. First, you now have some time to read questions 21 to 25. Now, listen and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hey Jacob, Glad we could meet to plan the group presentation. Have you had a look at the project brief yet?
Yeah, I read through it last night. I think we should go with the topic on cultural heritage and tourism. It's broad but fascinating, and we can explore different regions and their approaches.
That was my top choice too. It's something that touches on economics, identity, sustainability, it's got everything. I was thinking maybe we could focus on how tourism affects heritage sites.
Good idea, especially the tension between preserving cultural authenticity and attracting tourists. Maybe we could pick 3 heritage sites from different parts of the world to compare.
I like that. I was thinking of Angkor Wat in Cambodia, Machu Picchu in Peru, and maybe the Colosseum in Rome. Each faces different types of tourism pressures.
Perfect. That gives us geographical balance. I'll take Machu Picchu. There's been a lot written about how foot traffic is damaging the site.
Great. I've always wanted to research Angkor Wat. The whole debate between spiritual value and commercial tourism is really interesting.
And the Colosseum is a classic example. It's a symbol of Rome, but the way it's marketed and crowded almost takes away from its historical value.
Absolutely. So, let's structure the presentation into 4 main parts. First, a definition of cultural heritage and how it relates to tourism. Then individual case studies for each site, followed by a comparative analysis, and finally, recommendations.
Sounds solid. I can introduce the theoretical concepts, maybe refer to UNESCO's definition of cultural heritage, and discuss the difference between tangible and intangible heritage.
I'll add something on cultural commodification, how culture is packaged for tourists. There's a great article on the commercialization of rituals in Southeast Asia.
Nice. So we'll each do our case studies and collaborate on the comparison and conclusion?
Exactly. Also, for visuals, let's include a map showing the locations and then photos that show the contrast between crowded and less touristy times.
I'll look for visitor statistics as well. Graphs showing tourism growth over time could be really impactful.
And we should definitely talk about preservation efforts. For instance, Machu Picchu now has timed entry tickets to limit daily visitors.
Right, and Angkor Wat has signage asking visitors to dress respectfully, but it's not enforced strongly.
That's another point, the conflict between local values and global expectations. Like how tourists may not understand or respect cultural norms.
Exactly, and the Colosseum has become more of a photo spot than a place of historical learning for many tourists.
So true. Let's also discuss the role of tourism revenue. While it causes wear and tear, it also funds restoration projects in many cases.
Yep, and sometimes governments are forced to choose between economic gain and heritage protection.
Which is where sustainability comes in. I think we should end with a section on sustainable tourism practices balancing access with conservation.
Good idea. And should we include a quote or anecdote in the intro to make it more engaging?
Sure. How about this quote I found? We inherit our cultural treasures not to keep them, but to pass them on. It captures the whole essence.
That's perfect. I'll use it to set the tone before diving into definitions.
Do we want to include a short survey, like we did last semester?
Maybe we ask students how important preserving heritage is compared to making it accessible for tourism.
That works. We can add the results to the comparison slide. Let's draft questions tonight and send them out by tomorrow.
Deal. Oh, and referencing, we need at least 7 academic sources and at least 1 from each case study site.
I'll check the university library for e-journals. Professor Harris wants Harvard-style referencing, no footnotes.
Got it. We'll use a shared doc to keep track of citations.
Okay. Let's aim to have our individual parts written by Friday evening and then meet Saturday to build the slides.
Sounds perfect, and we can rehearse Sunday afternoon.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Let's talk about the presentation design. Are we going with a minimalist slide style again?
Definitely. Clean, light background, large font. We should let the visuals speak rather than overloading the text.
Agreed. I'll design the slide for Angkor Wat, maybe one photo that shows the spiritual side, and another showing the crowds.
I'll do the same for Machu Picchu. That visual contrast helps reinforce our argument.
Also, what do you think about starting the presentation with a question for the audience?
That could work well. Maybe something like, have you ever visited a heritage site and wondered how your presence affects it?
Love it. Gets people reflecting right away. Then we seg into our framework.
Are we still using Butler's tourism life cycle model for the comparative analysis?
Yes. It's great for showing how tourist destinations evolve over time: exploration, development, stagnation, and so on.
It really highlights that if we don't intervene, many sites will decline in value or authenticity.
Exactly. And for the Q&A, someone might ask how we chose our sites. Let's be ready to explain that it was based on visitor volume, media coverage, and regional diversity.
Good point. Also, Professor Harris said any images that aren't ours need proper credit even if they're from free libraries.
I'm already including figure captions with full references. We can also include a visual sources slide at the end.
Smart. What time do we rehearse Sunday?
Let's say 2:00 p.m. That gives us enough time to tweak anything before Monday's submission.
Deal. This is coming together really well.
Let's keep the momentum and aim for top marks.
That is the end of part 3. Now you have 30 seconds to check your answers. Part 4. You will hear a seminar about the history and science of timekeeping. First, you have some time to read questions 31 to 40. Listen and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today's lecture will focus on the history and science of timekeeping, how humans have measured time across centuries, and how that process evolved from rudimentary devices to atomic clocks. Timekeeping has always been central to human civilization, affecting agriculture, navigation, trade, science, and even our sense of identity and structure in daily life. Let's start with early methods. Before mechanical devices existed, ancient people observed natural cycles to keep time. The most obvious was the daily movement of the sun across the sky, which led to the division of the day into periods of light and darkness. This division gave rise to early time markers like sunrise, midday, and sunset. Over time, people sought more precise measurements, and this led to the invention of various devices. Among the oldest known timekeeping tools were sundials, which originated in ancient Egypt around 1500 BCE. These instruments used the position of the sun's shadow cast by a central stick to indicate the time of day. Sundials were relatively accurate during clear weather and became common throughout the ancient world. However, their effectiveness was limited by geography and weather conditions, especially on cloudy days or at night. To address the limitations of sundials, civilizations developed water clocks. These devices measured time by regulating the flow of water from or into a container. The earliest examples come from Babylon and Egypt around 1400 BCE. The Greeks and Romans later refined them by adding markings and gears to indicate hours. Water clocks had the advantage of functioning regardless of sunlight, but their accuracy was affected by temperature and water pressure. Another advancement was the candle clock, used in China and parts of Europe. This device burned a candle at a steady rate, with marked intervals showing the passage of time. Similarly, incense clocks were used in Asia, where specific lengths of incense would burn for known durations. These devices served both practical and ceremonial purposes. It wasn't until the medieval period that mechanical clocks began to appear. The earliest mechanical clocks were built in monasteries in Europe in the 13th century. These were large, weight-driven machines that used escapement mechanisms to regulate motion. The escapement was crucial. It allowed energy to be released at precise intervals, enabling more accurate time measurement. These early mechanical clocks didn't have faces, they marked hours by ringing bells. By the 14th century, tower clocks began to be installed in public squares. These clocks were important not only for keeping time but also as symbols of civic pride and technological advancement. Over time, clockmakers improved their designs, adding faces, hands, and eventually pendulums. The pendulum clock, invented by Christian Huygens in 1656, significantly improved accuracy. Pendulums reduced variation in movement and became the standard in precision timekeeping for over 250 years. The need for accurate timekeeping became critical during the Age of Exploration. Sailors needed to determine their longitude at sea, which required precise timekeeping. While latitude could be estimated by the sun's position, longitude required knowing the exact time at a reference location, typically Greenwich, England. This led to the invention of the marine chronometer in the 18th century by John Harrison, a self-taught English clockmaker. His chronometers allowed sailors to calculate longitude with unprecedented accuracy and revolutionized navigation. In the 19th century, with the rise of the railroads, the importance of standardized time increased. Prior to that, time was kept locally, based on the sun's position in each town. This created chaos for train schedules, as each station operated on its own time. To solve this, rail companies and governments introduced time zones, which standardized time across regions. In 1884, the Greenwich meridian was adopted as the prime meridian, and the world was divided into 24 time zones. Timekeeping underwent another leap forward with the development of quartz clocks in the 20th century. Quartz crystals, when electrified, vibrate at a consistent frequency. This regular oscillation makes quartz clocks far more accurate than mechanical ones. Quartz watches became widely available and affordable, replacing mechanical watches in most households. However, the most accurate timekeeping systems are atomic clocks. First developed in the 1950s, atomic clocks measure time based on the vibrations of atoms, particularly cesium-133. A cesium atom vibrates at exactly 9,192,631,770 times per second, which became the definition of 1 second in the International System of Units. Atomic clocks lose only about 1 second every 100 million years and are used in scientific research, global communications, and satellite navigation. Speaking of satellites, GPS systems rely heavily on accurate timekeeping. GPS satellites carry atomic clocks and transmit time signals to receivers on Earth. By calculating the time delay between multiple signals, a receiver can determine its exact location. Without precise synchronization, GPS wouldn't work. Even small errors, on the order of nanoseconds, can translate into large positional inaccuracies. Modern atomic time is maintained by organizations such as the International Bureau of Weights and Measures and distributed worldwide through radio signals and the Internet. This system, known as Coordinated Universal Time, or UTC, is updated with leap seconds to account for irregularities in Earth's rotation. While atomic time is consistent, the Earth's rotation can vary slightly due to gravitational effects from the Moon and other factors, requiring occasional adjustments to keep atomic time aligned with solar time. Today, researchers are developing even more precise timekeeping devices. Optical lattice clocks, for example, use light frequencies rather than microwave radiation to measure atomic transitions. These clocks could be even more stable than cesium-based atomic clocks and may redefine the second in the future. High-precision clocks are also being explored for testing theories in physics, such as relativity and gravitational waves. In addition to scientific uses, timekeeping plays an important role in digital infrastructure. Internet servers, banking systems, and communication networks all require synchronized clocks to function properly. Timestamping of digital transactions, data integrity checks, and cybersecurity protocols depend on accurate time signals. Time is also fundamental to our daily lives. From alarm clocks and calendars to work schedules and international meetings, precise timekeeping shapes how we organize our personal and professional routines. Even mobile phones and smart devices are synced with atomic time to ensure accuracy.
That is the end of part 4. You have now 30 seconds to check your answers. You have now 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet.